Okay, so here's the short presentation I'll take you through before we get into the demonstration videos. But the purpose of this webinar is more technical in focus. It's to assist and provide some support to the ABs on how to activate their IF Search account and the key elements, so setting up standards and setting up certification bodies. So a quick table of contents. We've covered off a short introduction. I'll take you through the up-to-date timeline, the data flow diagram, and then we'll get into a series of short videos which shows you how to activate, how to add standards, how to add certification bodies, how to upload files in bulk, how to use data mapping, and how to use the FTP automated process. I'll quickly take you through the instructions and user guides, and then we'll get into the question and answers. So just a quick refresher, IF Search, the exclusive global database for accredited management system certifications. IF Search will be promoted as a source of truth for the accredited network globally. For the first time, it will be possible to validate individual management system certifications from any economy in the world in real time. View a list of all valid accredited management system certification bodies and view a list of all IF management system accreditation body members. And to make that all happen, we have all stakeholders working together. So IAF firstly provides a live feed on the status of IF accreditation body members and their accredited scopes. The accreditation bodies, they provide the data on their certification bodies and their accredited scopes. And then the certification bodies, in most cases, other than some ABs who do have registers, will provide the certification data on their certified entities, and then the certified entities will activate their account. So right now we're in the accreditation body stage. We've had nearing 60 accreditation bodies activate their account, and some are putting in their data. Those accreditation bodies who had previously sent the template, they've been uploaded, so those accreditation bodies will see that data in the system. Having said that, it was some time ago, so no doubt it needs to be updated for many. And they can do that either by editing single entries, or if there are a large number of edits to make, they can just re-upload another template spreadsheet, and then that'll overwrite any changes that need to occur. Now, just a quick refresher on the timeline. As you're aware, the IAF sent out the communication packs on the 14th of March. And now we're in the stage where we ask the ABs to send the material to their certification bodies, which many have done already, as we've seen. We're in the webinar stage, and essentially we gave a month to the ABs to receive the information, activate their account, and make sure that the data that they previously sent is correct in IF Search. And then during the week of the 11th and 18th of April, we'll send the activation links to the certification bodies. And we've given them a month also to review the information, set up their account, and upload their certification data. Okay, so I'll just get into the videos now. So I'll try and stop them. If everyone could just stay on mute whilst the videos are on, and I'll too try and jump on mute so there's no static there. There's a series of 6 videos: how to activate, how to add standards, how to add certification body data, how to upload files, how to use data mapping, and how to use the FTP process. I'll try and stop briefly in between each one. As I said, if we can get through them all, and then if you've got questions, just write them down in the Q&A. I'll just hit play now, and if you can't hear it, let me know, but you should be able to.
This user guide video is to show accreditation bodies how to activate their account. Firstly, go to your inbox and check the email you've received from info@ifcertsearch.org. Click the Activate Account button. You'll be directed to the Terms and Conditions page. Read the terms and conditions, the privacy policy, and data management provisions. Once you've read them, click each box and then click the Agree button to proceed. Enter your first and last name and create a password. The final step is to confirm your email address. Go back to your inbox and open the email. And click the Confirm Email button. Your account has now been activated. This is your dashboard area.
Okay. So that was the key element, just to how to activate. And now we're moving into the video of how to add individual standards. Now, it's just important to note that this is how to add an individual standard or edit an individual standard. But if you've uploaded them in bulk, they'll be included. One thing is that you must ensure that all your accredited standards are in the standards list. If they're not there, when a CB goes to upload certifications, if you haven't nominated them for that standard, then those certifications won't enter the database. So it's really important that all the accredited scopes and standards are included, and that they, once they've been included, they've been nominated to the specific certification body, so they can upload all their certifications to those specific standards.
This user guide video is to show you how to add a standard from the standards library to the accreditation body standards list. You must add standards to the accreditation body list before they can be assigned to a certification body. To add a standard, you need to click the Add Standard button. You need to enter the information in the form, including the scheme and the standard from the library. Then you'll be asked to enter the first issued date, the issued date and expiry date, and assign the standard to your list. If the scheme did not appear in the scheme library, you'll need to create a new scheme by clicking on the Create Scheme to Library button and filling out the form. Likewise, if the standard did not appear in the standards library, you'll need to create a new standard and add that to the library. You do so by clicking on the Create Standard to Library button and complete the form. Once the forms have been completed, the scheme and the standard will be added to the library. When you go back to Add Standard, both the scheme and the standard will appear in the drop-down, so you can assign the standard to the standards list. This user guide video.
So this next video is how to add individual certification bodies. As I said, if you are seeking to add multiple certification bodies at one time or maintain that data as accurate over time, you can use the file upload, the FTP or the API access, which will replicate this process. But this shows more the conceptual aspects of how to add a certification body. There is one section in this video that once you've entered the details for a new certification body, it will send out an activation link invitation to that certification body. That feature is currently turned off because we're waiting for all the ABs to get their data in. And then on the week of the 11th to 18th of April, that's when we'll start sending out the activation links to the certification bodies. However, thereafter, if an AB adds a new one, once they add a new certification body, that will send an invitation to that certification body to come in and activate their account.
Shows how to add a single certification body to the accreditation body account. If you'd like to upload multiple certification bodies, click the Upload Bulk CV list and you'll be directed to Data Management. To upload a single certification body, click the Add Certification Body button. You'll be directed to a form. You need to enter the information required about the certification body, including economy, certification body name, certification body acronym, the website and description for the certification body, the certification body identity number. This number is a unique number that identifies the certification body. Data uploaded in the future will be uploaded based upon the certification body ID that has been included. So it's important that this number is unique for the certification body. Include an email and other contact details. When you click the Submit button, an activation email will be sent to the certification body to activate their account. It's also possible to resend the activation email by clicking the Send Activation Email button, or copy the link and you can send the activation link to the certification body directly. To view the details about the certification body, you can view the details page and edit any field as required. Next is to upload standards to the certification body. Click the Assign Standard button. Choose from the standard list and enter the first issue date, and expiry date. If the standard is not included in the standards list, you'll need to go to standards and upload the standard to your own accreditation body standard list.
So you will see there that there was that invitation being sent to the certification body. So I can confirm that no CVs has received an invitation as yet. We're still waiting. However, that feature will be useful in the future if after the 18th of April, the certifications body say, we haven't received our links. The accreditation body can log in and go to that certification body and either copy the link and send it to them, or resend the invitation via another email that they can add in. So it provides a number of features to make sure that the CVs can get their link when they need it to the right email address so that they can activate their account. Now the next 3 videos are more about data management, so how to upload data in bulk. So we talk about file upload, which is the simplest, and then essentially FTP, file transfer protocol. It's basically an automated file upload process. So we talk about that, and we show examples of how they work in this process, including data mapping. So in most cases, if the data is slightly different for the AV to the data in IFCert search, so whether it be for country names or other data fields, data mapping will be required, but having this feature allows the AV not to have to change any data in their system and to be able to just set up these data mappings so when it comes in, it'll convert to the right field. So I'll just get started. I might let these last videos just play through because they're all quite related with the data management.
This user guide video shows you how to upload files. Uploading files enables you to upload data in bulk. An accreditation body can upload the certification body template, or in some cases, the certification template. Firstly, you need to download the template. Click the certification body template. What's really important after you download the template is to ensure that you use the exact file format, the exact tab sequence, the exact column sequence, and that the field names are exactly the same as the template. It's also important to note that you should not upload multiple data values in the one cell, and that each data values should be in a separate single row. In this example, we'll show you that there's currently only 2 certification bodies in the certification body list. We'll now import the file. Click to upload the file, select the file, and import the file. In this case, the file has been uploaded successfully. If your file does not appear, it's likely that data mapping is required. You'll need to go to the data mapping section and to resolve any mapping requests. Now we can see that there's 2 new certification bodies which have been uploaded in the file upload successfully. This user guide video will show how the data mapping process works. Data mapping is required when the data values from the accreditation body do not match the data values within IFCertSearch. The data mapping process will be required in any upload process, whether that be file upload, FTP, or API. In this example, we will demonstrate the mapping process with file upload. Firstly, we'll show you that there are no certification bodies listed. We'll import a file. We'll import the file, and you can see that there's an error, and it suggests that data mapping is required to fix. So therefore, the certification bodies were not uploaded. Go to data mapping. You can see that there's one country value requiring mapping. We'll show that in the template that was uploaded, you'll see under countries that USA was uploaded by the accreditation body. In the IFCertSearch system, we do not have that data value. We call USA the United States. By setting up data mapping allows the accreditation body to upload all its data values without changing them to match IFCertSearch. So, to create the mapping, change the status to active. Ensure the target is selected correctly. Go back to file upload. Choose the file. Import the file. Now that the mapping has been set up, the file will be accepted and all values will be included.
So this is the last video. I hope everyone is still awake. This is the FTP process. So this allows an AB, this is one of the automatic data feed processes. So it enables IFCertSearch to access the file, the CB template on the AB server, on their dedicated server for IFCertSearch. And so that ideally the AB has set up an automatic update to that file every 24 hours. IFCertSearch will come in, and look for any changes in that file. And if there are any changes, it'll reflect it into IF Cert Search. The API feature, we don't go through that on this webinar call. That requires more programming, so there's detailed instructions for that. But conceptually, we're going to show you how the FTP process works.
This user guide video shows how the FTP, or File Transfer Protocol process, works. The FTP process enables accreditation bodies to upload data into IF Cert Search automatically in bulk from their server. In the FTP area, there's detailed technical instructions, video guides, templates, and sample templates. You'll see the file names under certification body file names or certification file names. It's really important that these file names are used in the FTP process, otherwise the files will not be recognized by IF Cert Search on your server. It's also extremely important that you use the exact same tab sequence, column sequence, and field name sequence in the templates provided. And if you are uploading multiple data, it's to be on a separate line and not included in one cell. In this example, we'll show you that there's currently no certification bodies listed. We'll set up the FTP process. Firstly, you need to enter your server settings. Change the status to active, enter your host and port details, and your username and password of your server. Before you save the changes, make sure you test the connection with your server. Click the Test Connection button. If okay, save the changes and the FTP process is ready. Go to your server location and in the FTP file location, upload the file. It's really important that any updates from your system are included in this file. The IF Cert Search FTP process will look up for any updates in the file every 24 hours. You can now see that 3 certification bodies have been included via the FTP process. If the file did not upload, it's likely that some of the data values require data mapping. Please go to data mapping to see a list of any values that require mapping. Once the data values have been mapped, the FTP process will update every 24 hours, and these data values should be included, and you'll see your certification bodies listed under the certification body list.
Okay, so that's all the videos. What I wanted to show you next was the user guide section within the dashboard of an AB. So I've logged in here as if I'm an accreditation body, and this is what the accreditation bodies will see. So down the bottom of the left-hand navigation here, you've got a user guide section. And in the user guide section, you've got detailed technical instructions. So for all those processes that we just spoke about, and the API and a field name glossary. So, you know, if you're seeking to go the API route, which is more technical in nature and will require a programmer, your programmer can see all the details here about the steps that they need to go through to set up the API. The difference between the API and the FTP and file upload process is API is in real time. So if there's a change in your system, then IF Search will be reflected. FTP is every 24 hours it will look for updates, and then file upload, whilst it is in bulk, it's a manual process. There's also video guides in here, many of which we've just watched, but a few others, and there's general instructions too. So the general instructions has user guides for those other sort of less technical areas, but you know, certifications, accounts, users, how to add users, how to add standards, settings. It's all in there. So it'll go in here and show you, you know, getting started, how it works, prerequisites, all different aspects there. So it's all in there. We are looking to create another page, which will be probably a separate item that we spoke about on the last call, which will just add in promotional material and material that has been sent to the accreditation bodies before, so for certification bodies and other reasons. So that way, if the accreditation body is seeking to promote IF Search, or a certification body has asked them for the information again, they can easily go in here and find it and provide it. So that's nearing the end of the presentation. Before we tackle any question and answers, I think the main thing that I'd like to emphasise is, you know, we need all the ABs to activate and get their certification body data in. And if any AB on this webinar hasn't received their link, please let me know and email me on info@ifcertsearch.org, or ask any one of the Database Management Committee members. IF, who sent the communication material, had different emails to the ones that we were given to be able to send the activation link. So there's still, whilst we're nearing 60 ABs who have activated, there's still a few that we know may not have received their link. So please let me know if that's the case. All right, so that's it. I'll just, if there's any questions, feel free to turn on your mic or write the question down, and happy to try and answer them. Okay, so there is one from, okay, so John, there is a question there from you I can see in the chat. What if we didn't receive an invitation email? So yeah, that's probably the main point I wanted to emphasize, that please just email me at info@ifcertsearch.org and tell us which email you want the invitation to be sent to, and then I'll do that as soon as I receive the email for you. So that should solve that question. So the benefit of using the FTP is if you can set your system up to automatically update that file, so then it doesn't require any manual handling. So for example, we set up an FTP process with Jazans a few years ago, where their system will update a file that imports into ours. And so since we set that up, we haven't touched that for a number of years, and it's just carried on and worked. So it's more about whether your system can automatically export that file or automatically update that file, then there's no manual handling required. Okay. Let me just look here. Okay, so Laurie has just asked another question there. Actually, I'm going to share my screen again, so everyone can see this question. Let me just do that. Okay, so in the question and answers, Laurie asked a question: if you want to add an additional person to the AB account, would you add an account or add a user? I see this in the help area, so maybe we just have to read that. But no, it's definitely, you need to add a user. The account feature, yeah, so you would go to users and add a user, and then identify what role that user is. The accounts, it's probably going to be more relevant for certification bodies than accreditation bodies. So accounts could be for, it's probably better to explain as a certification body who could be a global certification body and have different subsidiaries around the world, so different countries. Whereas an AB is probably unlikely to have different subsidiaries, but another example could be for JASANS. They cover Australia and New Zealand, so they may want to create an account under one for Australia, one for New Zealand, possibly, so that the New Zealand account would handle all the New Zealand data going in, and likewise for the AB. But that's more setting up, I guess, different organisations or subsidiaries would go under accounts. If you're just trying to create more users, do that under the existing AB account that has already been set up. So Parveen's asked a question there, are you planning any webinars for the certification bodies? I think we hadn't sent anything out at this stage. I guess we're trying to figure out how to manage the sheer number of certification bodies. We've definitely got all the same material, so all the user guides, all the instructions for the certification bodies, and we can definitely do a webinar. I think what was initially planned was to do a webinar with the CB Association members within the IAF, and then once we've sort of gone through a few question and answers with them and refined that, then we will be prepared to open up a webinar for the greater number of certification bodies, and trying to work out how we would do that. We have not sorted that out yet, but definitely I think it's a good idea, and it would be good to do. Okay. So, if there are any final questions, please let me know. Laurie, I'm not sure, did you have any comments you'd like to make on behalf of the DMC? Make sure you're... No? All right, everyone. If there's no more, I think Laurie said no. Oh, she's not being heard. Hold on. Let me just see if I can sort that out. I unmute.
Hi, Nigel. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Laurie. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I didn't really have much to add, except I think for the ABs that may not have provided their data back in September, I think what you said about the downloading the spreadsheets and uploading the spreadsheets should be emphasized, because ABs certainly do not want to go in one by one and have to put in all their certification bodies to jump, you know, to initiate their data.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a good point, Laurie, because I think realistically a lot of the ABs might just work with that file upload process for a while, in terms of getting it set up, doing it the first time, and then maybe updating it every so often. It's those who maybe are the larger ABs that might look to try and set up one of the automated processes, whether that be the FTP or the API, but that will require a little bit of programming to set that up. Yeah, that's a good point. John has just asked another question, whether I'll be in Mexico. So I won't be in Mexico, John, but I will be on a video conference. So the Database Management Committee didn't think I needed to be there this year, so that I won't be there in person. But it is a really good point, because now Laurie, you might have to back this up for me, but I think it's Thursday at 5 p.m. there is an IAF Cert Search meeting Yeah, so John said yes. Yeah, that's at 5. So John, I'll be at that meeting via video conference to sort of answer any questions and help the members from a technical aspect, however I can. Okay.
Nigel, I have just one question for you. If an AB reaches out to me because they didn't receive their going live access email, are those unique emails, or am I able to forward the one we received here at AAB?
No, that they are completely unique. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're unique, and there's also an expiry date on them as well, just for security and privacy reasons. So the link that you received is only for ANAB, and so that's why you click on the link. It will only accept an ANAB activation. So likewise for all the other ABs, the link is specific to them. So it's really important that we get their link to that AB. So if there is someone that reaches out to you in Mexico or before then, just copy me in on an email at info@ifcertsearch or get in contact with me, and I'll just send them a new link to that email address. You know, I think for some ABs, it may have gone to the person who normally receives the communications for IAF, but that might not be the right person from, I guess, a technical perspective and things like that. So there's still a few that we know haven't received them. We've had a few emails bounce. We've had a few emails maybe going to their spam folder because it's the first time that we've contacted them and it's a generic email. So there's a few little teething issues there. So definitely if you speak to any AB that hasn't received it, we want to get it to them as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, if there's not any more questions, I'll wrap up the webinar. And but any other questions, just email me at info@ifcertsearch.org. So there were some other interesting questions on the other webinars, about technical questions that might help the ABs set up that automated process when they get to it. So, we're here to sort of help the members get set up and make this process as easy as possible once it is set up. So, please reach out to us if you've got technical questions. All right, well, I will wrap up there. Oh, there were a few other people. There were just some other members here. Sorry, there were just some other members that didn't have the allowed to talk feature on, so I'm just adding them now. If they had any questions. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any more questions there, so I will wrap up and look forward to speaking to everyone on Thursday in Mexico for those who are there. But thanks all for joining the webinar, and we'll send the recordings hopefully later this week once we've put them all together for both the Americas webinar, the Asia and Asia Pacific, and the European one as well. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Laurie. Thanks, everyone.